All right. All right. So we're good. We're rocking. All right. So Grace, say and spell your name, your first and last name, so that our editor doesn't mess it up.
Okay, my name is Grace Levine, GraceleVine.
INE. Okay, great. And you are you're in the first family, and tell us about your first experience.
Well, they're all
Oh yeah. So forget that T. Yeah, just fix
they're
it.
all the first family is all really nice and caring, and once you come in, they're all so supportive, and they all welcome you with a nice round of, and they're all really nice.
And what do you like most about first? Why have you joined first?
When I was in I joined first because when I was in 3rd grade, my teacher gave me this opportunity to do a little robotics session, and I wanted to, and I got to learn so many new people, and I got to drive and create and everything.
That's cool. Then what do you like most about robots?
I like driving them a lot. I'm not that good at it, but I'm sort of getting it, so.
Right, and you do that what, like with a joystick kind of thing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It takes the joystick and I move it around, and it's
That's great.
cool.
That's great. So you're doing this inside your school?
I did it inside my school, but through 3rd through 5th grade, and now I'm in 6th grade. So next year I'll be joining first.
Excellent, excellent. All right, there's just one hair, and then I'm just gonna move that one hair. There we go. All right, you see that? Does that look right? I mean, you couldn't really see it. Okay. All right. So Grace, tell us how'd you like the tour today? What was your favorite thing about it?
I loved seeing all the airplanes because my grandfather, he was a really big airplane person, so I loved seeing like all the airplanes and like getting to go in the cockpit and stuff, because that was so fun, and all the buttons you could press without doing anything.
That's great. So your grandfather was he just liked airplanes, or he worked on them, or what?
So my great grandfather, he was a veteran in World War II, I think, and he drove airplanes, and he was, and my other grandfather was, he was in Vietnam, and he did airplanes too, I think.
Wow. So they were pilots?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Wow. That's cool. So if you were a pilot, what would be your favorite thing about being a pilot?
Definitely flying through the sky, and seeing how fast I can go, because that it's really cool seeing like through the sky and seeing all the towns. So.
Excellent, excellent. Do you imagine someday that robots might fly planes?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think robots will fly planes because, well, a lot of robots are taking over stores, and their technology is so amazing and cool. They're gonna get to fly airplanes one day, I think.
Excellent, excellent. And do you see are there any limitations, any things that make you worry about robots flying planes?
I feel one day that someone's gonna build a bad robot and it's gonna maybe crash it as like a test thing.
Right.
But other than that, I feel like it will be fine.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. So I'm going to ask you some of the questions that I've already asked you, and we're just going to do them again. Give us another option. We've had a little technical difficulty. So tell us about your first experience and what you liked most about it.
My first experience was in 3rd grade. I got an opportunity to be in this robotics club, and I built robots and I drove them, and I saw people creating them, and it was really cool and fun.
And what's the what interested you about that? I mean, were you a kid before then that was interested in how clocks work or radios work or that kind of stuff?
So I got interested in it because my best friend Evelyn, she was always talking about it and talking how fun it was. So when my teacher got me an opportunity, I was like, of course, and I tried it, and it was really fun, and I loved it.
That's great. And why do you think it's important for kids to learn about engineering and math, or STEM in general?
Because one day when you like let's just say you wanted to be in robotics, you have to learn how to do stuff. Like you have to learn where does this go and how to do the math and put it in the right place.
Right. Yeah, that's good. Are engineers important for a company that makes airplane engines and components?
100%, because the engineers are the ones who make the engines and who make sure they can and make sure they work, and then they bring them to airplane companies and then they work fine.
Yeah, good. Okay, great. What do you think airplanes will look like in the future? I mean, we saw so many different looks today.
It's kind of hard because I think like the airplanes they were so cool and then they got cooler and stuff. So I think they're gonna be like huge airplanes and maybe some really small ones that are gonna carry passengers and sometimes be able to ship like robots to people.
Right. What about, do you imagine that someday there will be electric planes?
Yes, because electricity is many things. Like you can carry electricity almost everywhere, and it's very powerful. So I do think it will be able to carry planes.
Excellent. Okay. If you could ask the Wright brothers one question, what would it be?
What got you so into airplanes? Why did you want to create one so bad, and how did you know it would work so well?
Yeah, good. How would you make airplanes more environmentally friendly?
They create a lot of pollution, and so I think I would take out that maybe and put in something that would not cause pollution, because pollution is creating many bad things like global warmings and everything.
So make an engine that emits less pollution, right?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, good. So now did you sit in the cockpit?
Yes.
And what was your favorite thing about that?
I loved how so many buttons, and they were so fascinating. Like there's so many buttons that are the same and so many buttons that are so different. It's crazy.
Yeah. You think it must be difficult to be a pilot?
Yes, it's in that one, yeah. Because, like, if they wanted to do something, they would have to find the right button and know where all the buttons are. And
Right. Yeah, exactly. Okay. What do you think some of the challenges airplanes will face in the future, or aviation?
some challenges they would face in the future is maybe having a lot of people complain and stuff because the airplanes are getting bigger and then sometimes they're getting smaller. So people might complain that like there's no more space in the airplane because it's all carrying stuff. And
Gotcha. What about noise? Is noise a problem for airplanes?
sometimes because most of the time they're really loud and then babies start crying, so then the noise gets everyone annoyed in the
Are there
seats.
some airplanes that are quieter than others?
There's like some of the jets are really quiet and you can't hear them at all, but some of the bigger airplanes get really loud and you can hear them.
Gotcha. Okay, great. So what's the most interesting thing you think you learned today about through the tour?
That's really hard because I've learned so much things through the tour, but I think that the first plane we looked at in 1912, that it was made out of bamboo and cloth, because now there's no way airplanes would be made of cloth. They would be made of steel and metal and all that stuff.
Right. Yeah. And I'm sure back then, right, it was like that was the only way to get it in the air, but now do we have other ways to get
Yeah,
it in
we
the air?
have the sometimes propellers and the engines and the thrust and the flight and everything.
Right. Excellent. And what did you find most challenging about making your straw glider work?
So my wing kept falling off, and I was putting tape around it and it kept falling off, so I tried to find a way, and my the wings or whatever they're called. Yeah, the wings. They're like they were not flying far. They were just going down and spinning or going like that way. So
And what do you think it would, like if you were to do it again, how would you do it differently?
I updated my little airplane and I folded the wings, like I folded them, and it went really far. So I think the wings folded would be a good idea in the future.
Interesting. So you were kind of like a little engineer there. You just engineered how to make a better airplane.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. All right. Was there anything you thought we were going to talk about that we didn't, or anything you wanted to say that I didn't really give you the chance to say?
No, I don't think so.
No? Okay. All right. So I want you to look right in the camera, and I want you to say, Happy National Aviation Day. And I want you to say it 3 times. And each time I want you to build up the energy. Happy National Aviation Day. Give it a little pause. Happy National Aviation Day. Pause. Happy National Aviation Day.
Okay.
All right, and you're going to look at the camera the whole time you do that. All right?
Happy National Aviation Day. Happy National Aviation Day. Happy National Aviation Day.
Excellent. Excellent. Now, was there any, Victoria, any other questions you thought of that I should have asked her? Or?
I think that was good.
Yeah.
Well, so the part where you were talking about how you fixed the your straw glider wings to make it maybe fly farther or maybe not curve as much, is that something you think an engineer at like an airplane company would do, or?
Yeah, because they're always testing and what they need to do, so they have to test new things sometimes on the airplanes and.
Right. Okay. So here, step a little bit closer. Yep. Back a little bit. There you go. All right. So I want you to answer that question again, but look at me so that it matches all the other time.
Okay.
So what is it? So from what you experienced today with your glider, right? How can you translate that to what engineers do every day?
Engineers, they fix new ways and they find new ways to try to make the airplane better and faster and to make it glide further, and they make it try to smoother. So I feel like that could be a combination to do that.
Cool. All right. So now I want you to do it one more time, and I want you to start by telling us. So tell us about your glider, right? Mm-hmm. How you improved it and how that ties in with engineers.
Okay. So I improved my glider I folded the wings so it would go further, and I think that if engineers would try to test that out, the wings might go further and glide smoother, and the airplane would be less bumpy.
And do you think that's what engineers do in general? Do they try things out and test them and try to improve them?
Yes, I do think that's what engineers do, because they need to, like I said earlier, they need to find the best way to make it a best airplane. So they need to test it and try it and find new ways.
Excellent. All right. Anything else? Perfect. All right. You are off the hot seat.
Thank you.
So nice to meet you. That was really great. Excellent. All right. And that's it for interviews? Okay.
I think there's a group over there, and the rest went.
Oh, they're doing more of their